Oh yeah, right there. Don't move that AM radio tuner another inch because from WJVT Minneapolis and Public Radio Incorporated, this is The Human Condition, where every morning we talk about what makes us human, why you, me, and everyone else do what we do. I'm Aaron Floss. Okay, here's something we did not expect we hope you all enjoy. Check this out. This was recorded in a sound booth in Manhattan Film School, yet found on a hard drive in a trash dump in New Hampshire and set in by a Human Condition listener.
I feel like I could tell you anything right now, and it would just be okay.
Found in the same month in the closet of a professional studio, after hours, in Hollywood, California. Again, sent in by a listener.
So it's just you and me again. What do you want to talk about tonight? My athlete's foot?
Again, the same month, in a recently shut down Chicago radio studio recovered from a hard drive covered with dust and seemingly destroyed.
You're so pleasing to be with. I think I'm in love with you. Thank you. You're the reason I live. I know who I am now. I'm comfortable in my own skin for the first time.
And now, 2 weeks ago, found right here on a hard drive in our Minneapolis studio closet by one of our nosy maintenance workers.
I mean, how do I ask her out? Like, her profile picture is with Neil. I probably don't even have a chance. I mean, have you, seen Neil? Of course you haven't, but let me tell you, he's got everything going for him. I'm just a nobody. No, you know what? I think you're right. I'm gonna run to her house and just knock on her door now. It would be romantic. After all, isn't that what girls want these days? Just someone who can take initiative? This is great. It can be something we can tell our children. Thank you so much. You open my eyes to a new world every moment. Love you!
So who are these people talking to? Excellent question. One first may guess a loved one in these recording rooms with them. But no. The recordings are a monologue. Perhaps on the phone? In fact, these are regular people exploring their mind via the expression of sound. They're speaking directly to the microphone. Let me break this down. The human experience is expression. A microphone in a recording booth is the perfect mechanical ear willing to listen to anyone, and I mean anyone's troubles. Every age, gender, race is drawn toward the release of personal information. It's becoming recognized that alone in a recording booth with a mic is a favorite way to do so. But what is it about the human condition that prompts us to relate to inanimate technology? Well, let's explore that. In 2001, when The Human Condition was born and aired for the first time, there were, according to the US Census Bureau, 1,599 recording studios in the US. Today, there are more than 2,000. That's about 40 per state, easily accessible and sporadic across the nation. Hundreds of thousands of residents have been enlightened to the therapy of sound recording. But is this therapy? Or is this a nonsensical, laughable form of expression? Today on our program, we intend to answer that question. Over the course of 2 months, our reporter Jake Mello, winner of 2 blue ribbons and one time won 1,000 tickets at Chuck E. Cheese, visited the famous New York University Tisch School of the Arts to talk with faculty, staff, and students who use the many recording rooms the school has to offer. We're devoting our entire program today to the drama he found there and the stories that will resonate with the people around the globe. And now, here's Jake Mello.
The first thing you do before you step onto the elevator to take you to the 11th floor, where the post-production center is located, you're greeted by guards who only stop you for an ID if you're wearing sweatpants or a polo shirt. Lucky for me, I was wearing one of my usual outfits: cut-off jorts, my corduroy boat shoes, a tank top, and a bolo tie. I entered the elevator and there was Spike Lee, acclaimed writer, director, and professor during his downtime for graduate students. Everyone's too nervous to talk. On the 11th floor, I'll begin by familiarizing myself with the corridors and master the perfect intersection of hallways. Nestled deep in the rear of the floor are 6 recording studios, 1 ADR room, and 1 Foley recording room. To get the real scoop of the place, I talked with Mike, a janitor preparing the building for the 9:30 a.m. courses to begin.
Yeah, I've been here 8 fucking years. Nothing but surprising me more than what I find in the recording rooms.
He began to explain the objects often left behind by students in the rooms.
Yeah, slide whistles and philosophy textbooks are often left behind together. I don't know why those two, but they come in pairs. Another interesting combo I'm finding is empty wine bottles and genealogy reports.
I asked Mike if he could show me a recording room. He grabbed his keys and we took a peek inside a vacant studio. On the wall was a poster for the 1988 movie Big, starring Tom Hanks.
Yeah, that's not supposed to be here. That's the third this week.
We looked around a bit more. We found a Victrola record player, a pair of non-prescription glasses, a roll of lipstick, and finally, lo and behold, a wine glass and genealogy report. Mike and I proceeded to test our own boundaries and dug through the hard drive. Obviously, the previous user of this booth had an interesting time recording here. We searched by date and found an AIFF bounced just 20 minutes ago to iTunes, which you should never do because Pro Tools and iTunes don't play well together. It was titled Chop Some Cats AIFF. It was an action-packed radio drama.
Your days of chopping cats are over, Catman. Kapow!
It was a marvelous piece of art. Everything was carefully scripted and followed a complex story structure, but nothing explained the objects in the room until we bought up the original Pro Tools project.
Your days of chopping cats are over, Catman. Kapow! Your days of chopping cats are over, Catman. Oh, scallywags, I can't get the flipping lines right. What am I doing wrong? This stupid anyways. Alone in a recording booth all morning, producing a piece of doggy dung. At least it's nice being alone. This is rare. At least I like the sound of my own voice. Wow, this is nice. La-da-dum. Beaverdam, I like this. Let me go get my 1988 big movie poster starring Tom Hanks.
The next 33 minutes are silent.
Aight. It's me, myself, and I's time. A reading from our holy lord, Gene Simmons. I'm fascinated with myself and love hearing the sound of my own voice. I like to hear what I have to say. A lot of people don't like being alone because they truly don't like themselves, but I love me.
This girl knows what's up. She continues.
Okay, where to begin? I'm so glad I have you, cardioid microphone. You never charge and only listen. Today I went to Starbucks and they totally spelled my name wrong. Well, it wasn't my name.
The preceding 2 hours of audio is similar. It's at 2 hours and 14 minutes that the monologue becomes a bit more profound.
The complexities of my mind are too large to be contained in the cavity of my skull. What is happening to me? I feel as though I'm psychologically changing pace every waking second of my puny human existence. What is happening to me, Tom Hanks? My capacity for love, hate, wonder, and skepticism is multiplying with every breath I take. Is this life? Is this the feeling of divine existence with a legacy dead ahead of me? I'm onto something. Math, science, literature, lend me your ear. I must live or die trying. I am the conqueror of everything in the orbit of my life. Thank you, microphone. I have achieved glory, true enlightenment, all because of you.
Shit.
And just like that, the recording was over. Mike summed it up pretty well. What he had just listened to was the revelation of life's innermost secrets made by the most narcissistic human being I've ever come into close contact with. The microphone worked. It was a beacon of hope for her, a way out, a tangent in the cycle of everyday life. It let her explore the boundaries she's never dared to break during small talk on a brunch date with her girlfriends. All alone, with an ear to listen is when truth manifests. I had to find this girl. Mike and I studied the genealogy report, and wouldn't you know, her name was on it. Armed with her name, we hustled down to the security desk. We were informed that she was in a sound design course and raced over to the workshop. She was nowhere to be found. Vanished. Gone. The next few weeks, I sorted through more of the sound booth hard drives in hopes of finding a recording equally compelling. I found things such as,
I am nothingness, just a voice reverberating off every projected surface of the universe. We are nothing, only vibrations in the air, with no one around to hear it. If a tree falls in the woods, nobody hears me.
and
Chicken tenders, chicken nuggets. Oh, yes.
And finally,
Wait, is it possible for a man to be another man's dad even though he is his grandfather? Oh, Tom Hanks and Big, duh.
nothing was as good as the first recording. When my 2 weeks were finished, I packed up and left with the hard drives of my favorite recordings, never to have met the mysterious woman.
Your days of chopping cats are over, Catman. Kapow!
"4 months after Jake Mellow's outing to the film school, it's been understood that Sierra Diego, the female in question, is locked up for third-degree murder charges and animal cruelty. She's serving 15 years in 5 Points Correctional Facility in New York. We've arranged visits with her, but she never shows up at the window. Custodian Mike has become an uncle since then, happy for his sister and brother-in-law he loves to pal around with. In short, the usage of sound booths has since become a moral conundrum. Users have become worried for their own sanity and coherence with reality. Maybe alone in a recording booth unlocks all of life's meanings and defines your existence. But until then, more and more people are choosing the bliss of ignorance, safe and sound from the dangers of sound. Our program today was produced by Greta Wilson, written and directed by Louis Kloster, sound mixed by Philip Chin and Emily Wild. Voice acted by Channon Singh, Harry Badu, Emily Wild, and Nick Hansen. The Human Condition is distributed by Public Radio Incorporated, and also now by Professor Sue Zizza, whose sound image course was the birth of this project. This episode was made possible by Gage Earrings and Ice Cream. Just don't put the two together, or there will be an infection. And excuse me now while I lose my mind to being confined alone in this booth for profession. Thank you for listening.